So when we were building the first hotel, I remember walking, and this lasted a whole year and a half, walking into his office with my papers and opened the door of his office, and there were these, vanity mirrors that you have in the hotels, that they have that can see
Oh,
really big, vanity mirrors are called, I think. Uh, so I see there are like 10 of them, small, bigger, 10x, 15x, 20x, with light, with no light, with pedestal, without pedestal. And so I was like, where is this going? Come, 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 come. We have to define, the mirror that goes inside each room. And I'm thinking, I have to get these things signed by him and authorized by him. And then I was looking at the mirror. Oh no, I can see this here. No, I can see no, this bigger, smaller, no with lights. Okay, so we decided it was 2 hour work, and he was not convinced. And I was like, okay, I have to ask for another meeting because I was not able to have this authorized.
what's your guest experience strategy? You probably have a marketing strategy, recruitment strategy, and sales strategy. But what about intentionally turning first-time visitors into loyal advocates? Hey, it's Josh here, and in addition to co-hosting the podcast, I help attractions do exactly that. From creating a culture of wow moments to empowering staff to recover from service failures, great experiences don't happen by accident. To schedule a free consultation call, visit liebmanleisure.com/attractionpros. Don't leave your guest experience to chance. You should be known for creating memorable experiences on purpose. Welcome to the Attraction Pros podcast, where we discuss the latest trends and challenges facing the attractions industry today.
We chat with some of the top leaders in the field and provide resources that will help develop your career in this great industry.
I am Josh Liebman. I am obsessed with the guest experience and helping attractions make that their top priority for success.
And I'm Matt Heller. I am passionate about organizational effectiveness, leadership development, and employee engagement.
Now sit upright, hold on tight, and get ready for the Attraction Pros podcast.
Hey, Josh, how are you?
Hey, Matt, I'm doing great. Maybe that could be my signature. Just hey, like
I like
17
it.
E's in hey.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I am fantastic.
Fanny text?
I put a little E in there just
All
to as an
right.
homage to your hey. I got a question for you.
All right.
You've worked at many different companies, right? And I'm guessing that you've been called, this is going to sound terrible, a lot of different names.
Oh, yeah.
Probably as an associate, as a team member, as a cast member, as an employee. Have you ever been called in that capacity a collaborator?
No, I haven't. You also have worked for a lot of organizations, and I've also been called a lot of different. I've also been called a model citizen as well
Oh,
for
that's
my
really
company.
cool.
So, yeah, yeah. What about you?
Yeah, team member, employee, um, cast member, not at Disney, but that's okay.
Hey,
But yeah,
you.
I'm sorry.
Hey, you.
Hey, you.
Yeah.
Hey, you.
Hey. Yeah.
The reason I bring up collaborator is because today our guest, Elizabeth Lugo, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Grupo Xcaret, refers to their team members as collaborators. And she expands on that a little bit to say we all have to collaborate together. And they have 18,000 collaborators.
When Elizabeth started with Grupo Xcaret more than 30 years ago, they had 350 collaborators,
Here you
350,
go.
now 18,000, which really shows the immense growth that the property has taken over time. So fascinating to learn about this company and all the different facets of business that they are in and how they very much integrate with overarching tourism in Mexico, both from connecting with nature as well as being able to ferry guests over to Cozumel from the Cancun area, which is just across the waterway, just the little ocean in between, little bit of ocean in between, I guess I should say, and the way that they really touch in all these different areas of Mexican tourism.
And what's really cool is to hear her talk about the culture of the organization. And when I asked her about the culture, she said, let me go all the way back and talk about the seeds that were planted all those years ago, that really has created a culture of learning that I think has permeated the entire experience. So when you go to work at Xcaret, it's not just about a job, it's also about learning new skills so that you can be the most productive human being that you can be.
Speaking of learning, and that being the whole point of this podcast, should we get our passports out and get to this interview with Elizabeth Lugo?
Let's go. Hello, Elizabeth. Welcome to the Attraction Pros podcast. How you doing today?
Hi, Matt. Thank you. I'm fine. I'm really happy and excited to be here with you guys.
We are so excited for this conversation. Can you start us off by telling us a little bit about your career?
Thank you. Yes, I'm from Mexico City originally, but I've been living in Cancun or in the Cancun area for 30 years. And I just fell in love with the industry of amusement parks. I started in operations, really being in charge of the retail of one of the parks. It used to be only two parks at that moment from Xcaret Group. It was only Xcaret and Shelha, and I was running the stores. I came here for a project that was supposed to last for me 3 months, and it's been now 30 years, and I just fell in love with it. So yes, operations in the basic line, and then I worked my way up to learning about guest experience and safety, logistics, leadership, getting teams together, organizing things, and then I just got engaged in all of the new things that the company was doing. And the 3 months became six, and then 1 year, and then I just moved in permanently. So I love it here because the company has grown and it has allowed me and some more people from the team from back then to grow with the company and learn and make sure we could achieve things together. So I'm the executive director of parks, tours, and the sailing company. I started when we were only 350 people at one of the parks. Now in the company we are 18,000 people. So in 30 years, the company has 35 years, but in these 30 years we've moved from having two parks to having eight parks and three hotels and a shipping company and whatever comes next this year.
That's amazing. Well, we definitely want to dive deeper into what those 30 years have been like. But before that, for those who might be unfamiliar, you mentioned the parks, the hotels, the ships, the sailing, the transportation. Can you tell us a little bit more about Grupo Xcaret for those who might not be familiar?
Yes, thank you. Grupo Xcaret is located in the Mexican Caribbean near Cancun area. It's about an hour away towards the south. And it started as park, Xcaret Park. It's probably the most familiar or known for many visitors here at the Cancun area. It's spelled Xcaret. You can look it up in xcaret.com. And it started with one part that reflects the Mexican culture and preservation of nature and values in Mexico. And then the other part was Shelha or is Shelha, which is a beautiful inlet and a beautiful clear ocean view. And it has a lot of water activities. So it's a natural water park with a river, but it's not a lazy river that's artificial. It's a natural, lazy river and lots of fun activities. And from those two parks that Xcaret started, Xcaret and Shalha, then the company opened in 2009 a zipline park, which is Explore, and it's right next door to Xcaret. And it's the largest zipline park in the world. We have our first supplier is Petzl, it provides the helmets and lines for the zip lines, and they were surprised to see how many things we were buying from them. So they came down here to see, so what are you guys doing? And so when they saw the operations, they were quite amused because at Explore, that zipline park, we had 3,000 people a day So that's a lot of zip line things. And so all together with Xcaret, receiving 10,000 people a day, shall have 5,000 people a day, explore 3,000 people a day. Then we opened other parts like senses, which is a part based in how you would feel all of your senses if one is missing, all of your other senses. So it plays with your mind. It's a part that you can do in half day and kind of like hard to describe. But we have a sensatorium, for example, which is this dark walking area that you can smell, hear, feel, but without your eyes. So at the end of that passage, people comes out and they're like really touched in their souls because they say, "Oh my gosh, I have never experienced. How would it be to be without one of my senses?" To give you one example, so that's senses, and then we also opened another part which is cenotes, which are these springs of water in the wild nature, surrounded by jungle, and you have these beautiful springs of natural water that you can jump in and have water activities. And that's a beautiful tour because you get to visit four different types of cenotes, which are what they're called, and to get together with nature with no cell phones, no internet. So you really have to connect with the people and connect with nature and really find yourself in the middle of nature. And then the other one is Xochimilco, which is a Mexican floating fiesta with a little bit of tequila, a lot of music, and a lot of dancing, and that's held at night. And you can party along with a really Mexican fiesta. We also have tours to archaeological sites, famous Chichen Itza and Tulum. So we have a floating vehicles of 361 vehicles. I do look after those vehicles too. The logistics and just the whole touristic thing. And one of the things that we did for these Chichen Itza tours, because there are a lot of operators that can take you to Chichen Itza, but we got these buses that are really nice. But all of the buses that would take you there have one bathroom. It's a 3 hour, 3.5 hour drive, and we do not have one bathroom in the bus. We have two bathrooms, and that made a whole difference. Thinking about service, because we ladies really were thankful that we, and still we are the only operators with two bathrooms. I cannot believe that because we started at 2010 and no other operators have done that because they would lose some of the seats. But we are exchanging that for service because we really want to have everyone to enjoy the ride to the touristic and archaeological site. So all together became parks and tours, which is what I look over the operations, and we get 4 million visitors a year, with all the operations of tours and parks. Um, Afterwards, in 2017, we opened the first Hotel Xcaret Mexico, and that was something very different for the group because we were used to being just parks and tours. And when we started the hotels, all the other hotels of different chain companies were saying, "What are you doing? You're park operators, you're tours operators. What are you doing here in hotels?" But we had a very different proposal because we are the only ones, the only hotels that provide you what we call the all fun inclusive. You're familiar with all inclusive hotels with food and beverage and stuff, but we provide all fun inclusive. And this concept is very revolutionary still now because we are the only ones that we pick you up from the hotel, from the airport, we take you to the hotel. You have all the parks and all the tours included as many times as you want. Those are included in your visit, in your staying at the hotels. And then we'll take you back to the airport whenever you're ready to go back. So this all fun inclusive concept We are the only ones that can provide it because we are the owners of the park and do the tours and have all the vehicles to do it. And so it's around, it's a complete vacation. Someone said to me, "Oh, you're now just missing the airplanes, the airlines." I said, "No, no, no, those operations. Wait, wait, wait. Wait, we have to still mature these things here." But so we opened the first hotel with 900 rooms in 2017, and then right after pandemic in 2021, we opened the next hotel with another 900 rooms. And then we opened a boutique hotel with 63 rooms. And then we just recently opened another 900 rooms this past July. So we're close to 3,000 rooms right now. And the project is to have 900 more rooms probably by 2029. And then in the meantime, well, there's the ocean, see? And we have right in front of Cancun, it's Isla Mujeres, Island of Women, it's called. And it's a very nice, popular, beautiful island. Kind of reminds me of Key West, but in a Mexican style. And then Cozumel, which is very known for cruise lines and cruise ships, one of the number one destinations in cruise lines. And that's right in front of Xcaret. So we built and put to operation some ferries. We have now currently we have 6 ferries, three of 650 people and three others of 350 people. So we do all these operations of ferry transportation for tourism and people in general from Cancun to Isla Mujeres and back, and from Playa del Carmen to Cozumel and back. And so that put us also in a different area in touristic operations. And now the ferries turned out to see us and said, "What are you doing in ferries? You are parks and hotels. What are operations here in the ocean?" So we now became a shipping company or a sailing company. And with that, we also acquired some catamarans, these sailings, sails. Um, so we have three of those. And with the hotels, we also have a vacational club membership. So we acquired some yachts for those members of the vacational club at our hotels. So we have 4 yachts that I also look after. So it's a big operation with parks, tours, and the shipping company, the sailing company. Hotels, I don't do. I mean, we work together for this all fun inclusive package because we are now a new different concept. But there's a team dedicated to hotels, and they're really a great experience. Different because we brought to the hotels all of the Mexican, modern Mexican culture, so you can resemble what Mexico is. Um, our general director and owner, Mr. Miguel Quintana, says that Mexico is like 32 countries in one country because we are 32 states, but each state has their own, gastronomy, flavor, color, music, dances, traditions, ceremonies, and to put everything together, we try to have Xcaret, the first part, to be like an embassy of Mexico, a little embassy of Mexico, so that tourists can come here and we can share with them a little bit of all the flavors and colors and the great things that Mexico has in culture and history and nature in a fun way that all families can enjoy. And we also brought that to the hotels. So if you go to the hotels, you'll find all this color and fun Mexican style and just something, a unique proposal for all of the families to come here.
Wow. Well, we joked before we started recording that Josh and I needed to come down there, but now we really need to come down there. There's so many fascinating things that I want to ask you about all of them, but I also want to kind of have you think about that 30-year journey maybe a little bit. And I know that Grupo Xcaret was recognized as one of the best places to work in Mexico. So can you talk a little bit about kind of that 30-year journey and how you achieved that recognition and what sort of things have gone into that from a leadership perspective?
Yes, let me go back to 30 years, back to 1996, which is when I joined the company in January of 1996. And I was here for a month or two or three at the most. And one of the things that I loved about, and I bring it to the conversation because I think that was one of the bases that led us to what we are now. I was impressed by, coming from Mexico City, big city, everyone busy, a lot of things going on. And the company had just opened Shanghai the year before I arrived. And I was impressed to see that there were people that do not know how to um, write and read, analphabet. And I was shocked because coming from Mexico City, that was just unbelievable and unacceptable to me. And the company started back then, 30 years ago, a program that was called back then the Zero Educational Backlog Program. And what that meant was that everyone should have their elementary school completed. I'm talking about adult people working here and really compromised and loving their work, but they didn't know how to do it. So the company provided teachers and school hours in working hours. And I was so proud to be able to deliver, to, give in hand certifications for the elementary programs completed to adults that I had met when I arrived. And I was like really emotional about it. And then I also saw them complete their high school. And right now, 30 years later, we have sons and grandsons of those guys working with us. And they are engineers, they're biologists. So you saw that generation from generation really were able to uh, bring up a whole family, a whole community. And when I saw that in the beginning, I said, this is what I want to do because this company is really making a difference and caring about the people. And so 30 years later, we are talking about Forbes recognitions, certifications, international certifications. We are always running for what can we do better, what can we do more impressive, not just for the visitors, but also for our people. So that comes to the question that you're asking about the best places to work. I think we work with really purpose and pride to do things. Um, Mr. Quintana is, we say with all the respect that he's a little crazy because he launches a new project and he let us work with the project and he let us be the ones that can provide all the ideas and can structure everything and always looking for the well-being of our collaborators and looking for the satisfaction of the visitors as well. And how can we make a differentiation of our products not only from the outside but also on the inside, like this story that I'm telling you about the education of the people. So I walk through the parks and I say hi to people that I know them and I know their children, and we have been able to form a community. And the challenge with that is that opening operations and going from 350 people to 18,000 collaborators is how you permeate that culture. How can you really make sure that it's happening the whole time with all those 900 rooms that we open that brings almost 2,000 people one at a time. So what we have been doing is that we make sure that in every opening operation, at least 30% of the people that goes into a new project, either it's a park, a hotel, or the shipping company, the sailing company, we have that 30% that comes from the roots, comes from the parks, or comes from the tours, or comes now from the hotels that really have that DNA embedded in them, and so that they can also share it and put provide new insights from the people that's new because we also need that, but we can maintain the purpose and the pride that was brought from the beginning 30 years ago of this company. You can see Mr. Quintana walking through the parks, and picking up any garbage that he sees and talking to the employees and also visitors taking pictures with him. And I think that simpleness, I don't know if that's a word, but that simpleness of being so natural and really involved and engaged with what we do, if it's nature and if it's community and it's satisfaction of the people and all of that together, it's a common line that we like to experience. And I think that's part of the secret for this best place to work. We of course have been challenging by the famous new generations, and and what I'm saying is that the guys that join the company that are, in their 20s, they bring these new ideas and technology, and we have to listen to them and try to make the most out of both worlds. For an example, some years ago, not like 8 years ago, only 7 or 8 years ago, we had some policies about how our employees should look, and the tattoos and piercings were not allowed. And so 7 years, 8 years ago, a lot of people were saying, questioning that. Why? It's a way of expression. If I really want to have a piercing or longer hair or this and that, and really Mr. Quintana was open to say, well, that's part of our new culture, and this rich culture. So we made some flexibility in that, and we were open to do that. And now you can see these new expressions in our own employees. And that is something that we are listening always to our people to make sure they're happy and they contribute with everything they have to for in the company.
Mhm.
Yeah. That standard of uniformity, I feel like was so strict throughout so much of the industry for so long, for so many decades. And then it very much felt like it was upended just a few years ago, of just simply asking, well, why? Why not? And then it became very obvious and clear that needed to change. I think you said the word collaborators when referring to employees, team members. Is that what team members are referred to? And can you talk a little bit about kind of that process and that mindset?
Yes, yes, collaborators more, yeah, I'm referring collaborators to employees or co-workers. And yes, we acquired that collaborators term many, many years ago, because we like to think, and I think it's true, that we all add on a little bit in. We all bring in ideas, and I was telling you earlier about Mr. Quintana that he lets us do things and he puts trust in us. Uh, Sometimes we have not been in good results, but we learn from that too. I mean, me or our teams or collaborators. But yes, we name them. We call ourselves in the 18,000 people just the collaborators because we all collaborate in different ways in the company. Uh, the people that cooking in the kitchen or the directors that are thinking of a marketing strategy, we all have our own piece of good things to add to the company.
Well, and if I could maybe connect the dots between what you said about, really listening to the new generation and the people coming in, that's a key element of collaboration is being able to listen and being able to have an open mind. Can you talk a little bit maybe more, dive a little deeper into the kind of the practicality of that and how that works across different departments and certainly across different properties?
Yes, having a fast growth that we have had, especially from year 2010 till now, the company each year has been opening one park, another, one tour, another, one hotel, another, the selling company, another. It's been really fast, and we were trying to slow down a little, but we weren't able to. So we had to figure out new ways to communicate with people and to hear people. So we have different mechanisms. For example, one that I like the most and that really connects me with people is I have this workshop that I call Café con Liz. It's coffee with Liz. Liz is me, Elizabeth. So we sit with around 25, 30 people from operations, from kitchens to maintenance areas to guest services, everyone to talk about new ideas, to talk about problems and things that haven't been solved because there are other priorities. And we have these quality circles that we are all equal and we all talk in equal terms to try to solve different situations. So I like those because it connects me with people. I let me allow me to listen more to what's going in the ground area, the fun area, I say, because sometimes you are in meetings and other things. So when I come to talk to the people that's really out there giving the service or doing the things that make possible to open every day, it's that we really connect. And we have this tool that allows us to see all of the items that we have listed and how things are resolving or not resolving and giving them a reason and saying this cannot be done because of this and this reason, but we are taking your idea and maybe transforming it into another thing. We also have these surveys that can feel really cold, maybe. We would collaborate with a great place to work company that has this big long survey, but I think that allows people to think and reflect on how things should be done, and they tell us there a lot of things. You can find out credibility, respect, quality in the quality of life in the company, and that allows us to move things, either in trainings or in employee restaurants or in uniforms or in politics in the company. And that's also a way of hearing them. We also have this transparency in vacancies. So all of the positions that are open, we make sure that there's always communication so that they can, lift their hand and say, I want to see if I can do that job. And we have transparency in all that. We have these career plans, and myself and all the other colleagues are part of that career plan that we took because the company opened up spaces to learn and train and be able to try things new and obtain different jobs. So I think it's a lot of work, a lot of pieces put together. Of course, the communication skills that we all have to develop and the technology that we also have to take advantage to listen to people and to satisfy needs in the new and not so new generations because now you hire someone and you cannot give them this introduction PowerPoint program because they're just gonna yawn and fall asleep. They're looking at their phone and they're saying, do you send it to me by the link? Do you have that in TikTok? And so you have to come up with new ideas to connect with them and make sure they feel here that you're hearing them. And we've also had some other times that have been hard, like the pandemic, that we all had these challenges. And here, hurricanes, for example, that puts us to prove if we are going to be there for the people. And that's something that also I think adds value to the great place to work to see if what these guys have been saying is that real or is this only greenwashing. And when they saw that was real, that we all were standing there for the collaborators, and the company was standing for us. That also, built trust all along the company. So I think there are a lot of pieces that we have to put together every time and keep on learning and keep on curious and listening to people and making sure we have ears for all of them.
Mm.
So everything that you're describing, this is enough of a challenge for a single property to manage that. And curious as far as really scaling that and keeping the culture consistent across all the properties, all the brands, and all the different types of operations, of course, unified under the one umbrella.
Yes, I think each each brand has its own personality. I was talking about the Mexican floating fiesta, but the cenotes with nature. But I think the common thing that connects the thing, making sure we can satisfy people, and that means visitors, guests, but also our collaborators and even suppliers and the community that surrounds us. So we make a coherent speech and live speech, I would say, about what we do all together.
So Elizabeth, I've loved hearing kind of where you are and what you're doing within the company to engage your team and to create a great guest experience. I'm curious, again thinking about that 30-year career, I'm sure you work with a lot of aspiring leaders and thinking about the lessons that you've learned. What kind of advice would you give to people who are aspiring to be leaders in our industry?
Well, I'll tell you an anecdote. And this is Mr. Quintana, Mr. Miguel Quintana, our president and director. I have meetings with him every 2 weeks. So I come with my papers and all the things I want to share with him, and I need you to sign this and authorize that. I'm proposing this, but I have my plan, my agenda, and he has his own agenda. So when we were building the first hotel, I remember walking, and this lasted a whole year and a half, walking into his office with my papers and opened the door of his office, and there were these, vanity mirrors that you have in the hotels, that they have that can see
Oh,
really big, vanity mirrors are called, I think. Uh, so I see there like 10 of them, small, bigger, 10x, 15x, 20x, with light, with no light, with pedestal, without pedestal. And so I was like, where is this going? Come, 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 come. We have to define, the mirror that goes inside each room. And I'm thinking, I have to get these things signed by him and authorized by him. And then I was looking at the mirror. Oh no, I can see this here. No, I can see no, this bigger, smaller, no with lights. Okay, so we decided it was 2 hour work, and he was not convinced. And I was like, okay, I have to ask for another meeting because I was not able to have this authorized. And then the next week I came in, and there were robes, for bathroom robes. Okay, with the hat, without the hat, how long would they be? Softer, no softer, the sleeves, and the next week it was about shampoos. You have long hair, so you try the shampoo and make sure that the bowls in the rooms. Sometimes Mr. Quintana said, "I want in the hotels you say shampoo, and it's a big thick, sign that says shampoo and conditioner." And he says, every time I go into a shower in a different hotel, I end up putting, body cream in my hair because it's so little, it cannot see, and you're in the shower. So what I'm trying to say here is that all of those little details that become altogether the whole experience for the guest could have been decided by him in a meeting room with his associates, and he was asking me as well as his secretary, as well as any other guy that could come along. So, what advice would I give? Is just to hear everyone, to finally, he had to make his mind at the end, but he was able to hear every story that we had to share or everything that we didn't like. And that's one of the things that I keep for myself, and I try to do, to hear people, to be connected with people all the time. And I said earlier that you can see him walking in the parks of the hotel, and some of the guests recognize him, and because he has a book now that's called Sueños, Dreams. and people buy the book and it has the pictures of him in the book and recognize him. And he is so simple that yes, he takes pictures and tells the stories and just to keep connected to people, to hear people, to make sure you always have this simple life and be able to listen to everyone, not get like everything, but because you don't, you have to be the one that impacts in the decision making at one time, but you have to be able to hear everyone, collaborators, suppliers, community, just your peers, just everyone.
That is so fascinating. I love hearing that, and you've shared so many just amazing just pieces of information and inspiration. I would say here, and I feel like we've blinked and we're coming close to the end here. But if people want to learn more about Grupo Xcaret, if they want to get a hold of you directly, where would you send them?
Thank you. Yes, the web page is xcaret.com, xcaret.com. My name is Elizabeth Lugo, and I'm at ELUGO, Lugo, Lugo at xcaret.com. And please come see us. I can tell you different stories. I can uh, say marvelous things about our parks, our tours, our hotels, our selling company, but it will never compare from you coming here and having the experience. We would love to have you here and make sure you have a little bit of Mexican culture and share it with everyone in a fun way.
That's awesome. I think all of the Attraction Pros listeners should come down and visit next week. So watch for us all to come down there. Elizabeth, this has been a wonderful interview. I so appreciate all of your insights. So thank you so much for your time. And for everybody out there who's watching and listening, just remember, we are all Attraction Pros.